Thank you very much for this great introduction and this obviously great promise, and I hope to keep it. Well, thank you for Searchmetrics, to Searchmetrics, for this great opportunity to stand here today in front of you, in front of this great audience. And I prepared a brief presentation, I would say, with the beefy name, More Money, No Problems. Some of you might know Biggie Smalls, who had this great song. Yeah, you know him. Hands up, who knows Biggie Smalls? Still? So you're maybe a 40-ager. It's just a brief quote of more money, more problems, but I'd rather prefer no problems. And as I am a salesman and a marketing man, yeah, I try to make it happen. So I want to talk about the digital transformation of sales, or basically the impact of digital transformation in marketing and sales. Well, first I would like to introduce myself. I'm Gerrit. I'm the founder, owner, managing director of Crispy Content, a content marketing agency from Berlin. So I established the company in 2010. It was basically a time where we had, strong competition. We had competitors, especially from the SEO agencies. So they were trying to sell SEO copy at 5 cents per word. And for me, it wasn't, at this time, a kind of a business model. And I tried to think about what could I provide more than just visibility on certain search engines. And I realized that content is necessarily the currency, but we needed to achieve marketing and sales goals. And that's why Crispy Content became, within the following 7 years, a content marketing agency. Furthermore, I'm the founder and managing director of Serviceplan Content Berlin, which is basically the result of a joint venture of Crispy Content and the well-known Serviceplan group, which is, let's say, an advertising agency group, pretty huge. So great access to great clients. Well, and in this advertising group, this is what my day looks like, sitting there, sipping whiskey, smoking cigarettes, waiting for an inspiration, an impulse. Well, and then when it happens, it should be pretty expensive. But actually, it's not. I'm more like this. I'm that guy. It's not a girl. It's me at a party. I have no experience with advertising. And the only ad that worked for me is this one, because I really like guitars, and that's the best ad of all time because you have 6 guitars in this ad. So for me it worked. It was actually 1990, and he's my big hero. It's Steve Vai. Some of you might know him. Well, and I tell you this because this place here is pretty familiar to me, because I'm the guy here on the left side. In 2007, I buried here my punk rock band and started my marketing career. And I feel like home here. It's my living room. So very warm welcome to you, my audience here in my little living room. That's for the first part, the opener. I asked myself what I would like more than, at this time, guitars. And this is a steak. And now, a brief poll here in the audience. Who of you admires, let's say, a medium rare steak? Hands up. That's a lot. A lot males here. Who does not? Okay, and who has no opinion about a steak? I get you on stage in a second. So, well, there's no one who has no opinion about it. And the steak is a great opener because everyone has an opinion, so that means necessarily we can discuss about it. And I get your awareness. And awareness is the first part of the marketing and sales process. Well, I like steaks as well, and one day I asked myself, how am I doing that right? To grill that steak, that perfect steak. I did some research on Google, obviously, and I found out, well, it's necessarily needed that I have a good piece of meat, maybe a local piece of meat, and I have to do it the right way. I have to take the right accessory. You can see here, thing called beefer, a metal box, 400 degrees, 4 minutes, then it's well done. He's the guy who told me that. It's Tim Melzer. He's a TV cook. Who knows Tim Melzer? He's well known. And he's a trustworthy guy. He knows how to handle meat, right? I found him on Google, then on YouTube, obviously. There he told me the whole story, how to grill the perfect steak. And he used a thing. He used that beefer. And this was the first time when the product came into my mind. And it's actually the beefer by Spring Lane. It's a branded product, the result of a cooperation. And, well, my interest aroused. And then I checked it out. I typed in beefer on Google, and the first organic search result was an article made by Spring Lane, obviously a seller of a beefer. I hit the button, and I ended up at this article page, and there I saw the video I was already familiar with. I read the whole story. I saw there the WhatsApp dialogue, there an opportunity to download something or to buy something. And at the end of all, I dropped my email in a form and I downloaded a content offer. So afterwards, I received a great mail, and obviously it fit to my needs because it was again about a beefer. And something else, maybe for my wife, the KitchenAid. And there, they got me to the shop page. And this is a great shop page because we have a great image, we have a obviously visible checkout button, a price, and a lot of context. Great images of steaks, which I could realize with the beefer, and then some recommendations and so on. So I felt immediately attached to this. And what we experienced in this moment was a 100% digital customer's journey. It was pretty brief here in this presentation. Actually, it took me 6 months to do this journey, but it was 100% digital. It was scalable. It was measurable. So it was predictable. We have here a product of 699 euro order value. And if we have here a quarter of it margin, then you can imagine what happens if you sell 1,000 units of that. It's a lot. You can produce a lot of emails, blog posts, and videos for these six-figure amount. So that means his sales days are over, and his days are coming. So what Spring Lane did was they provided reasons to buy to me. So that means they provided trust to themselves because they knew how to use that product, how to provide the right information. They were able to share an opinion, obviously the opinion of Tim Melzer. They shared facts. They were readable in a way. They shared experience, remember the video, and they showed a context, a perfect future for me, my beefer, and my steak. So they were constantly looking at myself, at me, as a user. They used him, but actually, if you do not own him, you can do it with content marketing. And this is something that changes the complete sales process. It melts together. So the content and the measurable content, predictable content, has a strong impact on the whole sales process. That means with content, we can activate prospects in the sales process, we can engage users, we convert them into leads, we acquire real customers, and we retain them as fans. So Springlane did it, and this is something that you usually do with content marketing. And I wouldn't stand here if I weren't a fan of the beaver. That's why I'm a retained fan. You saw these goals, and you can put them in the funnel. You have the prospect on Google, on social media networks, he's anonymous, and we just identify him via a keyword. You get them on the website, and he converts into a synonymous visitor because we track him with a cookie, but we do not know his name. But it's our job to convert him into a lead in our email marketing tool. And finally, we try to close him as a customer. We put him into our CRM, and we try to send cross-selling emails. That's basically a usual conversion funnel. And the digitalization of the sales process, because we had this process here offline as well, had the impact that we can measure all these stages, the top of funnel, the middle of funnel, and the bottom of funnel. And now comes again the surprising part of interaction. Again, I want to see your hands according to the question, what's your current battlefield in your projects, in your business projects? Is it the top of funnel? Hands up. I experienced a bit more when I'm here at Searchmetrics. So is it more the middle of funnel? And finally, the bottom of funnel, the checkout, the closing. Okay, so we have a high peak in the middle of funnel. So that means we come into the direction of content and sales process, marketing processes, and optimization. Okay, we have new technical opportunities with the digitalization in the sales process. How? Well, we have here again our sales conversion funnel, and actually we can change those words into platforms. As I said, the prospect, you will find them on Google and social and through paid advertising. You find your visitor on your website, you have your lead in your newsletter tool, in your email marketing tool, and you find your clients in your shop tool or in your CRM. And you have those conversion rates. They give you data. They make it measurable, and that means predictable. And in the case of Springlane, we have here a search volume on the top 10 results of organic search results per month of 7.6 million requests. We have more than 3 million visits on the website. We have more than 120K subscribers in the email marketing tool. And we have an order value of average 60 euro. So finally, that means we know what happens if we produce content. We can predict the revenue of the actions when we make content marketing. We have now, in the sales process, consolidated dashboards where we put all the information from all the distribution channels together. We meld them. And as you can see here in this example, this is HubSpot. You see here on the left side the visits, in the middle the contacts, and then the customers. We can meld them together. And this has an impact in the production distribution as well. So we can measure how good we are at spreading our message of our product or our service. We can even go in detail if we go into that copy and try to understand if it really converts. In this case, is it goal-focused? Do we provide the right information? And does it have the right structure? This is semantic analysis. So again, for the sales process, where the content is the currency, it's imminent. If we have all these opportunities of measurement, of this conversional approach, this technical approach, we need new methods as well, because the team that works in this environment has to work in a different manner. We need a method. We would usually call it content marketing excellence. And this is a process consisting of 6 steps. Starts with the planning, where you try to understand within a certain project the goals, the challenges, the competitors, the timeline, usually what you would call SWOT analysis. Then we go into the research, where we use the off-page analysis tools, on-page analysis tools, and where we do all our audits. And then we create those concepts, which basically starts with a brand concept, with the communication, follows up with the content concept, then with marketing and sales concept. And then we do all this production stuff. Doesn't matter if it is copy or video or images. We distribute it on owned, earned, and paid. And finally, we measure it. If you have such a, we would call it curriculum, you need all these methods in these areas. That means you need to know how to do a real off-page audit, or an on-page audit, or a technical audit, or a funnel audit, or a revenue modeling. So that means the teams that work in that environment, they have to learn. And that has a certain impact in the team structure as well. So, again, when we build up a team, we have now the opportunity to measure the work, and that means we can calculate the work. And that means that we can set up the appropriate team for that. In this case, you see a lead, you see the content production team, and the performance team, which usually takes care for all that marketing stuff. We covered now the technical environment, the team environment, and what follows now is the service environment, because the product that you usually serve to your clients in the case of agencies. So again, we see here our funnel, which is the prospect in the first stage. We activate the prospect, turn them into a visitor, and convert them into a lead. And finally, we turn them into customers where they create this return on invest. Actually, it's possible to take all these methods, and in an agency world, you would say those are services. You could even align them to the funnel stages itself, and we did that. That means, first, you need all that strategic stuff before you activate any user. That means you need to know about the platform strategy, the content strategy, social media, and marketing strategy. Then you can activate your users with typical activation services. That means you produce content, editorial content, but native advertising content as well. You do the SEO content, social media content, and so on. And then, and that's separate from that, you do all that conversion stuff, campaign management, marketing automation, lead and demand generation, and email marketing. And then you close it. And this is the point where usually the offline sales comes into, or in the case of Springland, you can do it digitally. The result of it all, you can call ROI-driven content marketing, because it's measurable, it's predictable, it's reliable, and it's scalable. And then it necessarily produces a certain return on invest. If you want to create a return on invest with content marketing, you have to cover 3 main pillars in marketing. And this is usually creation and content, because that's our currency. But you need to have a certain understanding of communication processes, and that means marketing and sales processes. And of course, you have to cover the technical infrastructure. You do not have to build those products, but you have to ride the car, I usually say. And then you can achieve all your goals and your KPIs, and you see some of them here. You can increase your visibility, you get new users, you get new leads, you create a demand, and finally, you acquire customers. And then you decrease your customer acquisition costs. You see here the blue line, this is PPC, you pay for an ad, you get something for your ad, and you see the red line, content marketing, because Google gives you something back, because it's our relevancy engine, and if we provide relevant content, it would stay on top forever. Finally, to bring this presentation to an end, we come out to this conclusion that it's the content that matters. It was the content at Spring Lane that got me to buy the beefer. The content in this video, the content in the article, in the email, and in the shop. So that means bring it together, creativity, performant thinking, get your money. That means no more SEO copy. Instead of that, valuable content, tailored to the audience, delivered at the right moment, and published to the best converting distribution channels. And then you can create an ROI through content marketing. And I wouldn't be a bad salesman if I wouldn't provide a sales offer. Is it okay for you? Okay. The undeniable great offer. I give you, all of you here in this room, a 1-hour audit of your current project, and it doesn't matter if it's SEO, social, content, or marketing. Just visit this page, crispycontent.de/SMS17. Write down your address, I get back to you. Thank you.